Lingportal Online School presents
Deductions about the past in English. Have you ever wondered what happened in the past, but you weren't there to see it? Examples. She must have forgotten. You are almost sure that she forgot. She might have missed the bus. It's possible, but you're not sure. Today, we'll learn how to talk about the past when we're not 100% sure, using modal verbs of deduction. What is deduction about the past? Deduction is when we use clues or evidence to guess what probably happened in the past. But remember, it's just a guess, not a fact. For example, the lights were off. She must have gone to bed. You didn't see her go to bed, but you think that's what happened on the evidence. To talk about these kind of guesses, we use modal verbs like must, can't, might, and more. Let's break them down. Modal verbs for past deduction. To talk about deductions about the past, we use a special grammar structure. Modal verb plus have plus past participle. Let's break it down. A modal verb shows your attitude or level of certainty. Common modal verbs for past deductions are must, might, may, can't, couldn't, should, and ought to. For more on how sure we are when making guesses, check out our lesson on degrees of certainty. Have. This part always stays the same. It shows that we're talking about the past. Past participle. This is the third form of the verb, like in the present perfect tense. For example, work, worked. Go, gone. Must have. The structure is the following. Must have plus past participle. We use the structure must have plus past participle to express a strong certainty about something that happened in the past. You're almost sure it happened based on evidence or logic. Examples. He must have left already. I'm sure his car isn't here. You must have studied a lot. You got full marks on the test. So remember, when evidence is strong and you're almost sure something happened, use must have. It's your way of showing confidence about a past event. Can't have or couldn't have plus past participle. We use this structure to express strong certainty that something did not happen in the past. You're almost sure it's impossible based on logic or evidence. Examples. She can't have taken the money. She wasn't even here. He couldn't have finished the book in one night. It's 600 pages. So remember, use can't have or couldn't have when you're nearly certain something didn't happen. It's your way of saying that's impossible based on what you know. Please note, both can't have and couldn't have are correct. Use either depending on your tone or formality. Might have or may have plus past participle. Not sure what happened? Use might have or may have when you're guessing about a past event. It means something was possible, but you're not certain. Examples. He might have missed the train. She may have forgotten our meeting. You are guessing, but you're not certain. So remember, use might have or may have to talk about things that possibly happened when you're not sure. Please note, there is no big difference between might have and may have when talking about past possibility. Might have is more common in everyday spoken English. May have sounds a bit more formal or is more often used in writing. should have or ought to have plus past participle. Sometimes we talk about mistakes, missed opportunities in the past. We're saying about actions or right things that are expected or recommended to do, but for some reason it didn't happen. We use should have and ought to have to talk about the right thing to do in the past from our opinion. Examples: You should have called me. He ought to have apologized. It was the right thing to do, but it didn't happen. So remember, we use should have or ought to have to express what should have been done in the past but wasn't. It often shows regret, criticism, or a missed opportunity. Note, there's almost no difference in meaning between the two. Should have is more common and sounds more natural in everyday conversation. Ought to have is less common, a bit more formal and used more often in writing. Quick test. Let's check what you've learned. Choose the best option to complete each sentence. She looks so tired. She can't have slept well. The lights are off and the house is quiet. They might have gone out. I'm not sure, but he may have seen my message. You should have told me you were going to be late. You ought to have left earlier. As a result, we are now going to miss the train. Great job! You must have got it right. Now you can talk about the past even when you're just guessing. If you enjoyed this lesson, don't forget to like, subscribe and explore more grammar tips with Lingportal. See you next time.